Welcome to the Queens on Decks, where I interview female DJs from around the world. I am Michelle Miller, your host of the Royal Queens Rising podcast. We share our inspiring stories and secrets to our success. It's DJ RunDat with another episode of the Queens on Decks. Today, I have a very special guest, DJ Femme. Welcome.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show today. Let's start out by telling us a little bit about how you got into DJing.
Let's see. I got into DJing because I used to go to clubs when I first turned 18. And I would see the DJs play there. I would go to certain clubs and I would hear the transitions and I would feel like, ooh, I feel like I know what song is coming next. So I always had I feel like I always had this ear for music, even though I was never a musician or, musically inclined in that way. But so I was always fascinated with hearing the DJs and how they transitioned. And I'm like, it would be pretty cool to do that one day. And then that was in LA. So when I moved to Palm Springs later on, I saw a female DJ here, and I'm like, well, I saw her playing at a bar that she owned, and I'm like, I want to do that. So I told my friend, I'm like, I want to learn how to DJ. Yeah. And so before I even told her that, I remember like collecting music. Well, this was maybe 2005 and before. So it was, music was digital still. We were still in the digital realm of things. So I started collecting music digitally and just started kind of building that library, even like knowing that I would eventually be, doing that. So.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, same with me. As soon as music was digital, it was so easy to start building the libraries, and it was like addicting, like all the music, and you could have all the music. And I have like little CDs that I used to do little compilations, not mixing back then, but I still have them, and it's so fun to go back and listen to, what I was listening to in the early 2000s back in that time.
Yeah.
So did you have a mentor when you started out?
I did not. I didn't really know any DJs personally. And then I remember hanging out with, I guess, a former relationship. And this was like around Coachella. So we were going to Coachella parties. This was maybe like 2010. So I think I had just maybe purchased equipment, maybe 2011. And so it was like an after party at Coachella, or a Coachella after party, and I met these two guys and they were DJs. And so that was kind of my first time that I got to meet DJs. And then I think I still have one on Facebook. And then I think I was in LA and I'm like, I text message them or Facebook message them or whatever. And I'm like, I want to learn, like, can you help me? I don't know like where to start. So that was like my first initial, actually like talking to someone who was a DJ, because that was almost 10 years ago. Now there's like a bazillions of DJs.
Right.
So yeah, I had to meet them. I kind of met DJs along the way. Like, so after my first gig, I guess, so I live in Palm Springs, and after my first gig, I just started getting like Facebook requests and like started meeting new DJs that way. And now I know like tons of them. But it was hard back then.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially like female DJs, there were a few of them back in the day when I was clubbing, but now like I'm seeing so many more and connecting with them all around the world because of the internet, which is amazing. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's important to like have DJ friends, like so when you're like in a situation where you need help, like maybe when you're out playing and you're like something's going wrong, you can like message them or call them. Like it's always good to have support.
I had to do that the other day, and if he's watching, thank you, Alex. it's so good to have people and like network and to be cool with DJs rather than having like like a, you know, some DJs have an ego or there's like a competition, that just underlying thing that shouldn't be there. So I agree with that. Like there's it's good to connect with DJs in a positive way rather than see it as like a competition thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we are artists and we're all unique and we all have our own unique flavor to bring. And also, I think a big part of DJing is personality.
Hmm.
You know, we have our own style and flavor, and there's room for all of us, really.
Yeah. Yes, that's the beauty because everyone's so different. Everyone's style's different. You know, I work with a DJ buddy of mine, and we both do like techno, underground. We both like house genres, but her style's a little bit darker. Mine's more like melodic when we do like underground sets. But we balance each other out because if we did exactly the same thing, it wouldn't be what would be the difference, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty in it.
Yeah. So you've played a lot of clubs in Palm Springs. What's it like down there? I haven't gotten to go there.
Palm Springs is pretty cool. Palm Springs, so there are the gay clubs. So I played. I'm part of the LGBT community here. So I first started DJing for a woman's LGBT entertainment company. That was in 2013. But so there's the LGBT clubs, and then there's the straight bars. So I've worked more in the LGBT clubs, so that's what I'm more familiar with as far as experience DJing in them. But it was pretty awesome. At one point I was doing all three. I don't know if I can name any names, but at one point I was doing the three, you know, the top three gay clubs out here. So it was pretty amazing. It was a wild time.
I bet it sounds fun. Uh,
And it's a chaotic schedule. It's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe 2 gigs in one day, and then it's like back to back, and then wake up the next day, go to the pool, and then it's just like it's yeah, it was. So then there's that. So there's the gay clubs, straight clubs, the nightlife, and then there's the hotel pools, but that's obviously like in a season. So I've worked at the hotels, several hotels, and that's a lot of fun because it's a daytime vibe, and it's a different type of music than the nightclub stuff. So I kind of started when I started mellowing out with the partying because that comes along with it, which is not always a good thing, but the the daytime pool vibes kind of that's where I started finding like the chill house, like the new disco. I would find remixes, but it was a lot of fun. It's I still like the pools, obviously not now because of COVID, but I can't wait to get back to the pools. That's what I'm like missing the most. Not in the heat though, but
so fun. Well, isn't it always warm in Palm Springs?
it's always warm. Yeah, actually, December, January, it gets chilly. So I wouldn't want to be. I mean, chilly for me is like 50. It gets 50, 60 degrees. So it's kind of a little bit too chilly to swim.
Yeah.
But the parties are still, can still be a thing if
Yeah.
there's a promoter that wants to create
Yeah.
any
So
event, you know.
with COVID going on, what have you been doing as a DJ? How have you been shifting?
So I have been since COVID. So it took me about a month. I'm sure we all experienced that that funk, and it took me about a month, and then I started streaming on Facebook. So I started streaming here on Facebook, and I really like that a lot. Actually, it really I feel like it was like a comeback. But anyway, so I started streaming on Facebook, maybe like once a week. And then I found an app on Craigslist.
Wow.
I found an ad for a way to earn money. And I've been streaming on an app called Live It. So last month was my first month streaming 30 hours. So which is considered like full time because as a certified streamer, they want to see you stream X amount of hours, and then you can potentially make some income not a lot, but it's kind of like a gradual thing. Um, but that's what I've been doing. I've been streaming online on
Wow, that's wild. So how did you find it on Craigslist? Were you looking for gigs or like
for work. I just clicked on the gigs and I wanted something. Oh, I was looking for like work from home, right? Because obviously like we couldn't go anywhere. So I was looking for anything that I could do working from home, whether it be like sales or whatever, anything. Like I wanted to try to generate some income. And I saw that ad and it said musicians and singers. And so I messaged him. I'm like, well, what about DJs? You know, why not? Either they can say yes or they can say no. But it's pretty easy to kind of get accepted because you're kind of working for yourself in a way because you have to put the hours in. You have to be the entertainment. So it's kind of like you have a channel and people come and they see you, and there's tons of streamers. So either they click on you and they like you and they stay, or they go to the next person, the next streamer. So it's kind of like, it's a lot of fun though.
wow. So is it similar to Twitch?
I've been on Twitch a few times. It's a little bit, I feel like it's a little bit different in the sense that it's more of like a community. So like I just finished streaming and like I have regulars that come on my stream and a lot of streamers that come on my stream. So I feel like here, the streamers also support the streamers, which is a cool thing because, you know, we're talking in the chat. And I introduced another DJ that I met on Facebook, Socially Distant Fest. So I gave him the link to this one and I said, you should check it out. So he was on my stream. I was introducing him to a few other DJs that were on there. And then there's there was a gamer on there. So there's everybody and anything you can think of. But so that's what I did this morning, right before this. So I was saying, hey, you guys should give so-and-so a follow. And everyone's super nice because we're all trying to do the same thing. So we might as well do it in a way where it's like everybody's supporting everybody. So I don't know if Twitch is like that. I've been on there once or twice, I think, 3 times maybe. And I feel like there's more of a community on the app that I'm on now. And that's what I like about it, because even if it's not that much money, it's a way to network, and it's a way to like, you can see their Instagram and maybe like someone's in LA doing the same thing you're doing. So I feel like there's like endless possibilities there. Like it's just the beginning. And so even when I like get back to the real world, I still have these new like virtual friends on my Instagram. And like I talk to people from India. Maybe he's watching. He's a rapper from India. Lots of DJs from the East Coast, singers from like Bali and all these different countries. So,
Wow, that is so cool. I have got to check that out. That is amazing. I can't believe that just like came your way. Like that was destined. That was like the universe like
uh,
you get to keep playing and you get to make money and connect. That's so awesome. Very cool.
yeah, it's super cool. And then there's also the people who are not streamers and they come and they join and they find their streamers that they like and they'll support because, you know, some people are working and they like, you know, the entertainment and they like the friends that they're making, so they support in that way also. So
Wow, cool. So is it a free app to join?
it's a free app to join. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Um, so what is next for you? Have any exciting parties coming up or projects, or are you just mostly focused on doing your live streaming on that app?
I want to do lots of things, but it's about it's about getting focused for me. So I'm trying to put in, because last month was my first month that I did 30 hours. So um, I want to continue to do streaming, but I also want to I want to do things that are more for me, like maybe create like podcast. I also want to I'm working with my friend on some tracks, but I'm not a producer. I don't call myself a producer yet, but it's kind of like the experimental part of just trying to learn everything at this point. So I'm kind of like giving input, and we like work on like FL Studio and just kind of like have fun and talk and work on it. add like different elements of sound. So just kind of experimenting. So my friend has a little bit more experience, so she's knows certain things. So I'm kind of learning from her.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. Yeah, if you need any tips or advice on how to start a podcast, I'd happily help you. I'm
Yeah.
actually going to do a training on it. I'm going to create a
Oh,
digital course on it.
yeah. That's super cool. Yeah. I I went to Thailand in December, so I got some footage, and I want to make a little like video, so like a mini, I guess, not documentary, but just everything that I documented. So I like to do editing too. So
Fun.
just little things like that that I need to like get down and just do them.
Yeah, now that we have a little more time for creativity and things that are maybe like on the back burner, there's definitely some silver linings to COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, what advice would you have for somebody that's watching that wants to start DJing?
I would say if you want to start DJing, I would say maybe find somebody that you can talk to, like a mentor, because like I mentioned earlier, there's so much ego and it doesn't need to be about that, you know. So maybe find somebody that can help you, or if not, maybe YouTube tutorials. That's how I kind of learned a little bit. And then once you get that down, just practice, 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 because I feel like it's easier these days being in a digital realm. It's so much easier compared to, before, because I can't even say that I've had experience with how it used to be.
Yeah.
But practice
Hmm.
transitions without looking at your waves on your laptop. If you're using a laptop, that's what I would say. Use your ears to practice beat matching and start without the vocals. I don't know if
Oh,
that's too technical, but
I like that. I like that. Yeah, very cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. How can we find you online?
let's see. What do I use? I use Instagram and I use Facebook the most. So, and I use Live It. So I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, the name of
Yeah,
it.
whatever you want.
Live It, which is the streaming app, and on Instagram, and the same name I use for both of those, which is underscore FEMME underscore A and then underscore.
Okay, awesome. Well,
So
everybody go follow her. Thank you so much for being on the show, and it was
for
awesome to
having me.
with you. Yeah. Um,
And if anyone's watching, hello. I didn't get to check to see, but
yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pause. Go to my website to claim your free gift, a digital copy of my best-selling book, How to Start a DJ Business. www.djrundat.com. Follow me on all social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch at DJ RunDat. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. To learn how you can book me or work with me, go to my website or email me at michelle@djrundat.com.